it's Ann Kaplan from Mom Me, your mama resource from conception to college. Wherever you are on your momming journey, we are here for you. And this week, the theme in the group has been discipline, and particularly disciplining older kids. And on Tuesday, I talked about a bunch of Mythbusters about basically just trying to tell you guys it's never too late. It's never too late to start. So I hear all the time from clients, oh my God, my kid's 9, my kid's 10, my kid's 15, and it's just too late. He's totally out of control. He's addicted to his screens. He's so disrespectful. He never does any chores. He doesn't want to help out. He's rude. All of those things. I feel terrible. I'm saying he, but my oldest kids are he's, so I'm thinking about he. But girls have the same challenges. It doesn't matter, son, daughter. When we have older kids, we struggle sometimes to think like, how are these things that we did with our younger kids even gonna work? Like, am I putting my 13-year-old in timeout? Well, you might not call it timeout. You might not be singing that uh-oh song if you're with me and a client and we're learning the uh-oh song for all those uh-oh song mamas out there. You might not be singing the uh-oh song with your kid, but there's definitely a teenage version of timeout. So the first tip I gave you guys on Tuesday, and I want to re-emphasize, is all the same principles work that you use with your younger kid, they still work with your older kid. So those loving, empathetic boundaries without anger, without shame, that is the principle that we use regardless of what age our kids are, okay? So today I want to give you guys some tips on how to actually make that happen. And my first tip to you is stand by your word. Say what you mean what you say. We say that all the time in this group, and it's so important for all kids. But what's even trickier with the older kids is they're like older. They can have conversations with you. They can rope you into these little arguments, and before you know it, you're like, what am I doing? Arguing with a 13-year-old right now. So when I say stand by your word, it's like you made it a boundary. You set a boundary, whether it's a rule of your house, something you asked your kid to do, whatever. Stand by it. Stand by your word doesn't mean use more words. It just means don't go back on what you said. If you threaten a consequence, if you say that there's going to be a consequence, if there's a consequence that's already established for that behavior, you need to stick by it. And don't talk more than you need to, okay? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, and this is a big one for older kids, don't let fear guide you, okay? We all the time are afraid of what could happen with our older kids because the stakes are so much higher now, you guys. It's not just a skin knee or something like that. It's like, what if we let them take the car and they don't, and they don't be safe with it? What if they are out on a date and they don't be safe? What if, those are big, scary questions. What if you let them go to a party and they're not safe? What if blank and they're not safe, right? When you let fear guide you in parenting all the time, but especially with older kids, what I see all the time is my clients ratcheting down control on their kids, not giving them opportunities to make mistakes and learn and have that experiential learning that's so important for our kids because they're afraid of the consequences. Or, tell me if this sounds like you, afraid of hurting your relationship with them, afraid of being the bad guy, afraid of your kid hating you. That gets way realer when we're dealing with preteens and teens. But you cannot let fear be the thing that is steering your parenting ship, because you are always going to be making bad decisions if fear is your deciding factor. So don't let fear guide you. Now, next tip I want to give you, and this is going to help you not let fear guide you, is keep the big picture in your mind, in your head, in your heart. It is so worth it to have a super angry teenager who doesn't get to use the car, maybe even has something extreme happen to them, like missing their prom or something like that. That is so worth it. If that experience and that lesson learned and that natural consequence is going to result in a kid who's happy, safe, and healthy, oh my God, who gives a crap if they go to their prom? If the price tag for not following through on your actions and not sticking to your needs to be done is so high, it is so worth it to stick to your word and keep that big picture in your head, okay? And the last tip I want to give you guys is actually something to encourage you. There's actually something really great about disciplining big kids. Way easier than disciplining the littles is older kids have a a longer memory. And that means we can use a parenting tool that doesn't really work that well with toddlers and really little school-aged kids. That is what we call delayed consequences. You can see your child doing something wrong, making a bad decision, misbehaving, and you can delay the consequence of that, and it's still going to be impactful, and even in some cases more impactful for you to have delayed the consequence. So think about a situation where your kid was supposed to clean his room before he went over to his friend's house, but he didn't. Or she was supposed to finish her homework before she turned the TV on, but she didn't. You don't have to act right then and there like you do with a toddler. You can say in your head, bad decision, then take some time to get calm about it, so you're administering your consequence calmly, and then later on, when your kid wants something from you, which is going to be like in 10 seconds, say, oh buddy, I would love to do that for you, but unfortunately you didn't do X, Y, and Z, or unfortunately you said you were going to do this and it didn't happen, or unfortunately you broke this rule and now what's going to happen is this and this. Because almost more powerful than taking action right in the moment is letting your child think that they quote unquote got away with something, and then explaining to them later on when tempers aren't high, when it's going to be super impactful for them to realize that heart dart of not getting what they want or having that unpleasant consequence, so much more powerful. So use it to your advantage. Older kids can handle delayed consequences and benefit from them like little kids can't. So there's some really amazing, wonderful things about disciplining older kids. If you need more help in figuring out consequences, figuring out techniques on getting your older kids to behave, or have specific instances that you want to talk about with me, hit me up. Send me a private message, comment on this video. I love helping parents problem solve their parenting challenges. Love you guys so much. I hope this week was super helpful for you. I hope you had an amazing 4th of July. Yesterday I'm wearing my red, white, and blue today, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.